Hey guys, this is Shorts on Fire79, and today we're working on Hogwarts Part 4, the final addition to this long-running series. And right now you can see that I'm working on a little courtyard. That's the courtyard outside of the Great Hall for the castle. And each piece I made one, and then each piece was casted in this blue mold right here, and I just cast it over and over and just glued them together after that. And this is how it'll be on the castle. I was kind of just breaking them off as they fit and kind of got that to work as well. And I jumped around a lot. This is the base of the castle. I apologize for not having a shirt on. I totally forgot I was recording. And it's basically just, I brushed it over once or twice with some brown coats. I think I spray painted a couple times as well just to get a good even coat on the bottom. And then right now I'm dry brushing it, which is basically just applying paint to your brush and then rubbing off as much as you can, and then well, I don't know what the term is. Like you just brush aggressively over the rocks, and it'll deposit a little bit of paint, not a lot, but enough to really accent the outer highlights, which is kind of what I wanted for the rock, because that way in the crevices it'll be dark, and on the outside it'll be lighter. And I basically did that for both sides, and I did multiple coats. I think I did at least 7 or 8 different shades. You work from the bottom, or yeah, darker to lighter. And so you can see this one's pretty brown, and the one you just saw was fairly light grayish, and that was kind of what I was going for, a sandstone-y look. I don't know if I really accomplished it, but I didn't do an even job as well. So like you can see how this, after we've rotated a little bit, it looks already a little bit lighter. And so I did that all around for several different coats. And then after a while I went back with a darker brown to kind of get some patchwork in there, a little bit of variation, so that way it wasn't really all just light gray. And I did that for quite a while. I was actually pretty pleased with the way it turned out.
Alright guys, it's time to move on with the build. So I have with me the right side of the castle here, or like the bulk of it, and you can see this line here. That is where I'm going to be making a cut, so you can easily put letters in, because I completely forgot that this castle was originally intended to be a letter box, I guess. So it's just 3x5. I believe the slit is a 1/2 inch by 6 inches long, maybe 7 inches, I can't remember. And it's on the biggest part of the castle, that's cavernous at least. So you can see there's a nice open space here. The only thing is that it's a little bit flimsy. It's the most, I'd say, the most fragile part of the castle, because there's not much support, a lot of space going on everywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to line popsicle sticks all over the sides so that it gives it a little more support. And then around the outside of the cut, I'm going to do, I'm not sure if you can see it, this style stripping around the edge, and I'm going to paint it red so that people can actually see it. The strip will give it a little more support, and then like a coat of super glue and stuff like that. So hopefully that works out well. I haven't figured out what kind of detailing I want to do for this area yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to. I'm running out of time. I have 4 days till I go to college. Oh, 3 days even. And so I need to finish spraying this ASAP. Alright guys, so I cut out the hole right here. You can see that that was just a quick Dremel thing. It took like 2 minutes. And then I put that rim around it like I said I would. So that worked out really well. And I reinforced the inside a tiny bit with popsicle sticks. I kind of went overboard on this side. There's a whole bunch of little pieces, but this side's not so much because I figured we wouldn't be touching that too badly. So now I'm just going to go through and make sure all these spots are glued well, and then we'll call that one good. I'm not going to detail the back because I'm lazy and I'm running out of time. So yep, just keeping you guys informed.
Alright guys, so now we're working on where we're placing the courtyard, and this will pretty much solidify the placement of the Great Hall and the building next to it. Because you can see that big pipe thing, that's where the big tower goes, and so then everything just kind of gets squished between it. And so yes, I am using a cheese knife, X-Acto knife, and a spoon. That I figured that would be the best way for me to get all the chunks out. I don't know where the spoon is, but I could have sworn I got a spoon. But yeah, that's pretty much how it went, and I just kind of scooped out the styrofoam with the tools I used, just so I could place the courtyard in there. You can see the courtyard is on a piece of cork, and that was kind of the base I was going to go with, because it'll give it a little bit of a texture on the inside of the courtyard that's different from styrofoam, and it would kind of work out pretty well. And then after I got all the styrofoam out, I went and used a Dremel and just kind of chopped off that lip that you can see at the edge of the base. That was the plaster stuff. I just chopped that off and it worked out pretty well. I just layered the inside with brown paint so that way it wouldn't be visible. Alright, this part is going to be very shaky. I apologize. You can close your eyes, kind of scoot back from the screen. It'll make things a little bit easier to watch. But I was testing out my GoPro that my sister bought me. She got me the Hero 3, her and her fiance, her now husband, and a chest mount that I was going to use for our run. Videos on my channel, you can see that. And so I should have mounted it on a tripod, but I don't know what I was thinking. So yes, I use an airbrush. My cousin gave me his airbrush that he had years ago that he never ended up using, and it is awesome. It's by Pash, I think, and I had never used them before in my life, so I'm pretty much just experimenting with the airbrush in this project right now. And as you can see, the windows are still the same color as the plaster or the resin, and it's not sticking to the paint's not sticking to it, so I'll have to figure out how to do something with that later. But for the most part, I am pretty pleased with the way the paint went onto the buildings, but I'm not really too pleased with the final product. I should have dry brushed them with the buildings with a lighter shade. I just ran out of time. I think I started painting these a day and a half before I went down to college, so I spent a good few hours just working on this at the end. So yeah, I realized that the paint wasn't sticking, so I just got some primer, light gray, and just primed all the buildings that hadn't been getting the paint to stick to them. And that's pretty much what I did from there. And then mixing the paint, I just used like cheap acrylics. I think it was like $1 a pop. And then I just dilute it to whatever worked best with the airbrush and just kind of shook it around and sprayed it on. Yeah, that's pretty much how that went. I used painter's tape. It was the easiest solution. I think for all the big pieces like that arch building back there, I used painter's tape and paper. So that way I wouldn't overspray onto the whole thing because I tend to do that a lot. It's a bad habit and I'm not very controlled with my paint movements. But yeah, the airbrush definitely sped up the process. If I had to do this by hand, it would have taken forever and I never would have finished in time. So thanks for that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all I did with the painting. I actually really like the color of the roofs. I'm not really too sure about the color of the actual towers or the buildings, the brown. I did want an old brick feel, kind of like what's actually in the movie, but I don't think it really translated too well in the model. It felt too static, I guess. If I had the chance to dry brush it like I had said, I think it would have been much better. But as you can see now, that was just a couple of coats of paint. The windows are already starting to turn brown, which is awesome.
Hey guys, so I lost some footage somewhere in between the move down to college, and so this is where we're sitting at right now. This is likely to be the final product. The wedding for my sister is actually today, so I'm about to move this down into my car and move it out to the venue they're doing their wedding at. So this is it. There's a lot of flaws. A lot of flaws. I'm not really pleased with it, but I ran out of time and then I had to go to college, so yeah. I really like these trees. They're by Woodland Scenics, and they're just pre-built, and they're awesome. And so I'm gonna paint these little cars black I'm gonna spray them black in the garage and then move everything else to the car while it's drying. And I made this for them. Congratulations, Nick and Allison. Hope you have a wonderful life together. So anyone watching this, thank you for watching. Thank you for sticking with this series. This is the final video, so I hope you really enjoyed it. The series worked out really well for me. I didn't expect to get as many views as it did, but I didn't have time to finish the bridge, as you can see. That's okay. I'm just gonna roll with it, but. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and any footage after this is just going to be from the wedding about the castle, so thank you very much. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Yeah, so that was a spur-of-the-moment video I took at like 8 in the morning, and I was pretty tired because I stayed up pretty late trying to finish it, but yeah, I facepalm every time I watch that part. But yeah, these are just photos I took afterwards. I went home for Thanksgiving. I snapped some photos and I was able to kind of get a little bit of closer shot on all the buildings. I'd like to thank my mom, actually. She helped me paint almost all the windows. I think I only painted the ones on the Great Hall. And then I was like, Mom, I'm out of time. I'm going back down to school. So here's a black paint, here's a paintbrush. If you could paint all these windows for me, that would be great. And so over the course of a few months, she finished up all the windows. But I told her that we didn't have to paint the ones in the back because it was up against the wall. So that's why in the camera thing, it was kind of not, I didn't really go behind it. So yeah, that was the rock face that we just saw. That's what the final product was. I really like how that turned out. I'm really happy with that because it just felt normal. All right, and so this is where it looked at the end, and this is going to be the end of our video. So I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and congratulations, Nick and Allison. And so thanks for watching, thanks for sticking with it, and I will see you guys next time.